Good evening, everyone. We have just been having a few technical difficulties. This is our first time using StreamYard. I don't know if everyone, we have one person dialing in. That's how dedicated everyone is.
Why am I not able to hear anything? There we go.
Excuse me? You can barely hear me?
I was wondering why I couldn't hear anything. Now
Can you hear now?
Turn my... Yeah, now I can.
There you go. See? We're all newbies. So this is Rideshare Ride 101. We're doing StreamYard 101. So this is my first time hosting the
work on iOS?
Excuse me?
This doesn't work on iOS.
Yeah, I sent the instructions out ahead of time. Remember I asked you, did you have a tablet?
I'm on an iPhone.
Yeah,
well,
I'm using my...
Dave is on an iPhone, so I mean, I guess it does work. See, I'm team Android, not team iPhone.
Hold on. Hey. I'm not... I'm trying to use...
Could you put your comments in the chat, Steve? Because pretty please, because we already running behind. Well, Steve, I was on here half an hour early. People wanted to get on early and do tech support. So if you could put things in the chat, because we've already started late because of technical difficulties, and we don't want to have anyone watching to be delayed. So there is a chat that you can use if you have any questions. So we are going to get to our first topic. And so I just wanted to say thank you, everyone, for being here. We know there's a lot of new drivers here. A lot of drivers have a lot of questions. They want the pointers. They want to know how to make the most money. They want to know how to stay safe. And so what our first topic, we're going to break the ice and get the mood right and just have everything laid back and chill. So our first topic is going to be, what is some of the craziest things that have happened to you doing gig work? So if people who are on Facebook Live or who are on YouTube want to participate, because guess what? We love audience participation. The person in the audience with the craziest story to share, we're going to vote on. They're actually going to win a $25 Visa gift card. And with gas prices, hopefully, what would that get you? Like, I don't even think that'll get you half a tank of gas in these gas prices, but it'll get you 2/3 of a tank of gas, okay? You could treat yourself to a decent lunch with that. And so we really do value participation in this. So who wants to go first and share the craziest story that happened to them doing rideshare? Who would like to go first? Any takers with that? And then I just ask if you can be on camera, if you could please be on camera. But if you're driving, we respect that and we want everyone to stay safe. Okay, Paul said no video. And thanks, Paul. So we got that covered. Hopefully we got the bugs fixed. We have a fellow driver here. He said he's watching the show. He's here. Thanks for your support, Marquis. Big up to you. And Will says he's new, but he's curious. He's here. So Will, I don't know if you could put in the chat. He's tuning in on Facebook. Can you please share with us one of your craziest stories? And we'll actually post it on the chat. So since there's no takers, I'm surprised, because usually Steve is always itching to say something. Steve, you don't have anything to say tonight? You don't have anything to say? Okay. Well, I guess this. I guess ladies first. I guess I'll go first. Okay. I'm just changing my camera out really quickly because I do not like. I just want to keep it 100% real. The blur is blurring my whole face out, and I want you guys to be able to see my face. Okay. All right, now that's a lot better. So, one of the craziest things that happened to me, and it was really scary, was I actually picked up a male passenger. It was kind of later on in the night from downtown Boston, and he was going to some town I've never even heard of in northern Massachusetts. It was out in the middle of East Bum, you know what? It was, and I swear he was, I wasn't trying to look, but I swear he was pleasuring himself in the back of my car and just asking all sorts of inappropriate, questions. All sorts of inappropriate questions right now. So I just wanted to share that. In another crazy story, we'll see one of the comments is Will said he's had a passenger offer him drugs, but he declined. And he said, "Oh my God, yeah, that's what it's like." And even, yep, Will's had a passenger hit on him. So it's just not the ladies that have to deal with this garbage. The men have to deal with this stuff too, which is really, really, really crazy. And so Marquis said he picked up a nun before, but the pickup spot was in some deep wooded area. It was in a KKK area, I believe. And Marquis also said, I don't know if it's a crazy story, but and he said he's been tipped. A passenger tipped him with marijuana one time. So that's pretty funny. That's just one of the craziest stories that I had. And he was asking me, did I want to come inside? Like it was a Tinder date, or I don't know what's wrong with some of these people, but that's really, really, really crazy. And so, Steve, you want to go next? I'm going to unmute your mic. What's the craziest story that's ever happened to you?
Sure, Steve or me?
Oh, I guess you could go, Dave. Let's go, Dave. Dave is unmuted. What's the craziest story that's ever happened to you while doing rideshare?
Probably a lady saying she could make it okay to the car and not really making it okay, falling down with her skirt hanging up and kind of I don't know. I guess that's craziest. But she eventually made it to.
Did you help her up?
Well, she didn't want me to touch her at all, and her husband was out there with a kid watching her. She went to some event, and she wanted to be all cool and sophisticated, and she fell on the cobblestone, and then another one just blacked out. She hit her head, and I called the cops. She woke up, got up, walking inside, and said, "I don't need any help."
Oh, wow.
So I've had a bunch of crazy stuff. A lot of false accusations, and they shut you down for nothing.
What happened with that? Tell us, give us an example of that, because that's been happening to a lot of drivers,
I was going on to Star Drive, and this motorcycle decided to try to pass me on the right to keep on going up Beacon Street. And he tried to pass me on the right. He hit the car, and I pulled over to the side. He kept on going, And I don't know how he survived, but he survived and just kept on going, never reported it. They shut me down, Lyft shut me down while they investigated it, which was like a whole weekend of concerts. I lost a lot of money in that deal. And they never got the operator. So, I mean, just they don't really cover you. You know, they cover themselves. They don't cover you.
That is so true. So the craziest customer complaint that I've had, besides when I changed my hairstyle, someone saying it's not me, I can honestly say I was doing a Lyft line. You know, that's Lyft line, Uber Pool, but it was a Lyft. And I've always had the most issues with Lyft when it comes to these passengers. Uber, not so much, which is weird. Usually the drivers have more problems with the Uber passengers than the Lyft passengers. And that's when they were giving like $15 for 3 streaks. So you get an extra $5 bonus a ride. Plus
shared rides
and stuff like that. Yeah. And so let me tell you, this woman got in my car and she smelled like B.O. onion style, like on steroids. It was crazy, 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 crazy. And I was doing a pool. It was raining outside. I didn't care. I cracked my windows. I didn't care that some of the rain was coming in. And then when I picked up another passenger, the passenger got in, and she smelled the funk too. And so the passenger reported me as being the funky one. And mind you, I keep a toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, wipes, paper towels, hand sanitizer, Lysol wipes, all of that, because I used to drive a lot of overnights. And so, sometimes I would go to the airport bathroom or the bathroom at the hotel just to brush my teeth, just to wash up, because I can't stand smells. And so Lyft sent me a message about my body odor, and I had to respond to that. I don't know how the passenger thought it was me and not the other passenger. I said, let me tell you something. And I was like, I keep all these things, all these toiletries in my car. So that was just a really, really, really bad experience for everyone involved in that. And that they thought I was the one that smelled like that, which is cray. So that's crazy. And Will is saying, yikes. Yeah. So I don't know if some of y'all have ever gotten accused of being, false accusations. But Steve, can we hear from you? You want to hear from you now about your craziest story?
I've been having technical difficulties. I've been accused of quite a few things, actually. I had one person say that I was fighting with somebody because they cut me off, and all I told them was just to use their blinker. And the lady said I'd gone into a fight with them and everything. And just some crazy ones. There's just too many.
So that's the craziest one?
Oh, I got plenty more. I just don't feel like talking about them.
Okay. Well, Will said that happened to him a long, long time ago with Lyft, and that is a scary situation. So, Felipe, do you have anything you'd like to add to this?
Yeah, are we talking about the craziest thing that ever happened to us?
Yeah, while being a together.
So, I mean, I never really drove like the party nights and the drunk people around, but the only thing that really got me is when I first started, I was doing Uber, and it was Uber Pool, and I didn't do much Uber Pool in Boston. And I had this lady, and she was telling me to do all the shortcuts. Like, she was going, go down here, take this left, take this right, take this right, take this left. And I'm like, and I was just doing it because I was new, You know, I was new. I just did the pool.
In 1 mile.
Hold on one second. I just did the
I-20 West, Atlanta.
I just did the pool.
Then keep left.
So I remember the lady took me down. You know how you go from Cambridge over to Mass Ave Bridge on Boston?
Yep.
She made me take a left over there, over the bridge in the Boston side, and go down like the side. It's one of those side streets. And this is a pool. She's dating. They got leftovers. Her and her boyfriend, you know, she's in there. She's telling me where to go, how to drive, where to go. I hit a pothole. And I just ended up like saying, like, you gotta get out of my car. Like, I was so pissed. It was like I first got the car. I just got the car. And I was just so pissed. I just got her out of the car. And nothing ever happened. That was like the craziest thing. Other than that, I mean, I've always had good rides.
I-20 East Augusta.
Very easy, you know, no problem. So, no crazy rides for me except for that. Just being bossed around by a lady and a boyfriend in a pool ride and hitting a pothole. That's it. That's how exciting my life is.
Are you on your way to Augusta, Maine?
Yeah, you can say that.
Have fun. It's a nice ride up there.
Yeah, that's so crazy. And I put in the chat, you know, we call Uber pool, Uber stool. And, you know, like Felipe said, he's new because in the beginning, you were supposed to go the way that they told you to go.
Correct.
They try to control you. But then I'm like, wait a second. Why are they trying to get me to get stuck in traffic? If I go over here, I won't be stuck in all this traffic. And then they did like the $3 extra bonus and you could get unlimited bonuses. That's when like the bonuses were like, you can get like 100 peak time rides was $500. I was like, nah, F you, Uber. I'm going over here because Waze is telling me this is a lot less traffic than staying the way you want me to. I'm in this to win this. I'm in this to make some money, honey. That's me. And so I hate Uber stool, and I hope they don't bring it back anytime soon. I heard from someone, a driver in Florida, that they have, you know, that they done returned Uber stool in the Lyft line in Florida. So that really, really, really,
there's several cities that are bringing it back. There's several states that they brought it back in. It's all the ones who are like hardcore Republican.
Mm-hmm.
That's the states they're all in.
Yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, so the only exciting one that I had was that first Uber pool. After that, I never let anybody boss me around. Like I said, I was new. I never liked to go to Boston. I always did the burbs and the airport runs in the morning. But that's the only crazy thing that ever happened to me.
Boston's only good for the high surges. That's it. Any other time? It's not worth it.
Yeah, so now we're going to go to our next item. So number 2, which is, you know, we are going to be giving tips for Rideshare, DoorDash, Grubhub, Instacart, and Amazon success. That's what we're going to do. And so we're going to start, I guess we'll go in alphabetical order. And so I guess I'll start first. So the tips I have for Lottie-Dottie everybody, get a dash cam. Get a dash cam. Get a dash cam.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Get a dash cam, okay? And, you know, DoorDash, especially if it seems to be a little bit shady, you know, take pictures. Grubhub, take pictures. Instacart, oh my goodness. You know, sometimes it's like you got to take a picture because these customers will say they never got a food item.
I just got that recently, twice now on Amazon. There's somebody saying, "Oh, I never got my grocery order." We have to take a picture when we deliver the damn thing.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, because when I was, doing that Amazon grocery order, yep, we had to do that. And get a pulley. So if you're doing Instacart or you're doing a Whole Foods grocery shopping and stuff, or now that you could do, Uber, you could do groceries now. All of these other services are adding groceries. Get one of those pulleys. I have one that can fold up really well. That's another tip that one of my girlfriends, she's like the Instacart queen. But she couldn't be on here tonight. She said, get one of those dollies, those easily portable dollies that you could fold up, because you never know when you're going to get a big order. Shop for your frozen items and refrigerated items last. That's also another important tip. If you're doing Instacart, get you, and even Uber Eats, get you some hot, some cold bags. That's what you want to do. You really want to do that.
Get you hired.
And another tip I could give you for Amazon with the food deliveries: don't go to that one in Chelsea. Oh, I went there. I think I went there twice. Never again. I always started to do Whole Foods in Dedham. I live in Dedham, by the way. And let me tell you, I would always sign up for the last shift, which was at 8:00. And even when I was doing Amazon with the packages, I stopped doing packages around the holiday times. Always sign up for the last shift because that's when you're probably going to get the least amount of groceries and the least amount of packages. And it's not going to be as busy when you sign up for the last shift.
Beth, the only problem is that you're going to run into places that are closed. They don't shut down a lot of these apps. So you go to these places and they're closed already.
Yeah, I'm talking about specifically for the Whole Foods the grocery delivery orders. That's what I'm talking about when I say sign up for the last shift, because they don't give, like, now. I mean, they used to close at 10 before the pandemic. The one by me closes at 9. So if you do the 8:00 shift, a lot of times it's the groceries or orders that they couldn't deliver, and it's usually a lighter load. I walk by there and I see people, oh my goodness. They have oh my gosh, they got 2 shopping carts full of groceries, and it used to be so easy. It was like a secret weapon. And Will is saying, oh, Instacart is bad. Marquis says he had 2 college students interested in his old opinions on relationship advice. He thought it was strange. Marquis is asking, should I get a dash cam? What do y'all think, team?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Get a dash cam. Tell us a story. Tell us a story so you can win the gift card, so you can get a dash cam.
Yeah, he's actually been active on the chat, so we're gonna go off of the stories in the chat too. Yeah, even Will Connor says it's a must. Will Connor says for Instacart, no market basket orders. Yeah, market basket, it'll turn you into a basket case real quick. I do have to agree with you there.
Very busy, very busy.
Oh, Marquis says he was being sarcastic. He's an OG. He knows better. He was being sarcastic.
Now you finding that the pay for the grocery shopping is worth the money that it takes for the labor that you have to do to get the groceries in and out to where these people are going? Do you just deliver to the doors, or do you deliver inside the houses?
If you're doing Whole Foods delivery, it's definitely worth it. So you want to get as many deliveries as you can for Whole Foods because they give tips out. So Whole Foods delivery is good. Can I go next for the advice? So the advice I can give you is, so when you do Amazon Flex and you go to the warehouse, they have those big boxes. Well, I have about 8 of them. I saved about 8 of them. They are good to carry your groceries in if you have a long way to someone's driveway. You put them in, you can drag them. So those yellow Amazon bags are really, really good to use to make food deliveries for Amazon. And then the next tip I can say would be Beth is right. If you do the latest delivery sometimes, this happened during Christmas time for me. When you do the latest delivery times for Amazon Flex, there was a couple occasions where there was no packages and they let me go.
Get paid.
I made my money. Yeah, I get paid. And then they caught on. What they were doing is they'd give me like 2 packages and they'd give everybody else like 2 packages to keep us, to make it fair. So yeah.
What died?
Yeah, I know Felipe's driving, so we might have lost him.
Signal up there is horrible.
Yeah, when you on the road, all this money, let me tell you. So one tip I could say, when you're going, there's a big warehouse in Dedham for the packages. Another thing I would do when it was busier, when I wanted to just do package delivery all day, I'm going to put it in the chat, was I would actually show up about 5 minutes before my shift started for Amazon Flex. And there would be a whole line caravan of cars waiting to get into the place. So I would pull in, because in Dedham, right on the Dedham, Hyde Park, Reedville border, they have like a fun center, like one of those jumping zones. So there's a way you have to let the cars in and out. So I would pull up and I would actually pull up and walk up there and say, I'm here for this shift. And they hadn't gotten to the people that were showing up for the shifts half an hour or 15 minutes, or sometimes around the holiday season, even 45 minutes before. So I would have them check me in on my phone. And a lot of times I would spend 45 minutes, half an hour of a 3-hour shift and still get paid for my time. And one of the ladies had the nerve to tell me, oh, you need to be here like half an hour early. I said, are y'all paying me to be here half an hour early? I said, if you pay me to, I'll show up. So that's another tip too. And pay your kids, because for Amazon, Will said you can't be shopping with 2 people, could get you deactivated. I know for Amazon, they don't mind if you have people helping you. A lot of people have their partners or they show up with their kids to help them. I know I used to do Uber Eats with my daughter when she was younger, and I actually used to get more
They changed that, Beth. They changed that. So you can no longer do the deliveries with another person. You can't even go into the Amazon facility with another person. I used to believe it or not, I used to do it on Sundays. I used to take my kids and I used to do like a 4-hour block, and I used to have them watch their TV as I did all the Amazon deliveries, because I used to do the one in New Hampshire. But yeah, no longer can you bring someone.
You can still do that. It's one of your independent contractor rights that you can actually argue for. You have the right to have a hired help if you want to. So technically you can consider them hired help. Not
okay. I gotta quickly, I don't mean to interrupt, but I gotta interrupt for this story. So Richard, he does DoorDash. He said this might be one of the contenders for the craziest story. He said, my 3rd delivery ever with DoorDash, the guy answered the door naked and asked me to wait so he could get me a tip. He handed me a $20 bill and started pleasuring himself as I walked back to my car.
Oh, man. I don't believe that. Get this guy on camera. Get this Richard guy on camera.
Oh, I don't know. Richard,
I believe it.
You want to come on camera, Richard? You want to join the stream? I'm telling you. I'll see if he wants to, if he's comfortable with that. Marquis is over here. And Will says can't be shopping with 2 people, like Felipe said. He says interested. Marquis is laughing. Oh, Richard said yes. Okay, so Richard, could I send it to you through Facebook Messenger?
All right, let's get Richard online.
DoorDash driver coming on the stream. Okay, so I'm going to. I don't know why I did that, but he's gonna actually be joining us. The more, the merrier. So, Richard, I just sent it to you on Facebook. Okay. So you should be coming on the studio soon, into the studio soon. That's crazy. Another thing I have to say too, if you have livery plates, or if have Uber, if you're renting a livery vehicle, if you got grandfathered into Uber Black, Lyft Lux, the best advice I can give you too, start a LLC. I do rideshare through a LLC because, as we know, gas is as expensive. Gas is as high as Bobby Brown was in the 90s. I've seen Cali gas. I've seen like $8 a gallon. It's almost $4 a gallon here. Don't let you need premium gas. And so it's really, 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 really crazy. And so it's just ridiculous. You can get a gas card, sign up for business credit, get your EIN, and sign up for business credit. That's another thing that I have. So Dave has using the IKEA bags as, helping people out and everything. So that's another tip that we have for all the drivers. And get insurance too. Make sure you tell your insurance company that you are doing rideshare. A lot of insurance companies have
you're going to ask them for a
rideshare adder.
Rideshare endorsement.
Yep.
Once you certain insurance companies, once you tell them that you do rideshare, they'll cancel you.
Well, I know
you have to ask me appropriately.
I'm a veteran, so I have USAA. They have a rideshare rider. Progressive has a rideshare rider.
Arbella does too. Omafred does. Arbella or Omafred have an endorser.
Yeah, Marquis says gas is higher than a giraffe's coochie. So that's what Marquis said. And Will said, I actually think it's required now for rideshare. You need rideshare insurance. Because what people don't know, people think they're getting over by. We actually had a driver in the in Boston Uber and Lyft professional drivers group talk about that. Your insurance companies are checking. They have a database now that they share all this information in, and they are checking to see if you are doing rideshare, if you're doing Grubhub, if you're doing all these different other types of gig work. And let me tell you, you really don't want to get in an accident. And then you might think that you're covered. A lot of times there was an incident with a woman. I think it was a woman. Correct me if I'm wrong, if someone else knows, that she thought Lyft would cover her because she wasn't at fault, but it was the other driver. The other driver, they maxed out on their insurance. So you want to make sure that you have the maximum insurance. You also want to get something called GridWise. And GridWise is a benefit. If you're in an accident, if you can't work, if you get deactivated, whether it's temporarily, they will provide you up to 80% of your income. You just have to get a quote. You want to protect your income. And just to let people know, BIDG members, we have access. If you're a part of the team, if you're a dues paying member, choose what dues, you pay what you choose member, you actually have access to those benefits as a paid member. You have access to Afflick, you have access to GridWise, and you being a part of BIDG, you have a discount code. We have a discount code, and we're able to offer our members a free trial, not for 1 week, but for 2 weeks. And with Gridwise, people are like, Beth, how are you making $1,500 to $2K a week? That was one of the secret sauces, was Gridwise. They actually have events going on in other parts of the state, in Rhode Island and things like that. And that's how I was making more money, because you might know about that Red Sox game at Fenway Park or that Patriots game down at Gillette, but there might be a concert up in Lowell that most people don't know about, and it has a crazy surge. And it's not a Charlie Foxtrot to actually get out of. You know what I mean? I've been to Gillette before. It could take you an hour to get out of that stadium, you know? And it says, how do you guys actually people get reactivated with Uber? And I just want to say, Richard is here. Thank you for coming on to the show and joining the broadcast. Richard is, you know, a dating coach. He does DoorDash as well, and I believe he also does Lyft, but I might be wrong. He could correct me on that. And he is like the dating guru, especially for men that don't have the best of luck when it comes for dating. So Will Connor said, how do you guys actually get people reactivated with Uber? So
do you want me to take that one?
Yes, Felipe, please do.
So Uber, we have been very lucky and unlucky in some cases. We actually have Alex's Ink Fang's personal cell phone number for work and her email. And I've talked to her personally about helping drivers. One of the things is that a lot of the drivers that are reaching out, I don't know if they can even be reactivated. And a lot of them don't want to do the process to go forward. For example, the only person that I know that's gone forward is a gentleman by the name of Lawrence Drucker. He's in the Facebook group. He actually took them to arbitration, but they're doing a lot of, we'll just say they're doing a lot of bad stuff. You know what I mean? They're trying to do a lot of bad stuff that, you know, they don't want to listen to his case. So they say we can go to arbitration, but yet they say, oh no, you can't we're not doing arbitration. But it's in our contract that states that we can do arbitration. So, you know, we're trying to send emails to Alex Angfang, and we have her number, and she's not being too forthcoming. This is where we need to gain more support from the drivers so we can put more pressure in a group to our lobby, to our legislators, our politicians, and even at the coalition in which the Boston Independent Drivers Guild is with. We can put pressure on Uber and Lyft. There's only so much that we can do. I mean, don't forget, that's a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and you have the Boston Independent Drivers Guild, it's a volunteer base. Only trying to fight against them. And we still have about 50 people in the pipeline that we put their information in. It's not easy. I mean, you know, we try to do it creatively, you know, maybe even to a point where we can take them to small claims court. You know, why can't we take them to small claims court? I mean, you just got to be willing to fill out the $100 form and have a good plausible lawsuit against them. There's got to be a way in which we can get drivers reactivated. And unfortunately, there's other organizations that are using backdoor techniques, but they're compromising the rights of the drivers. And we don't want to compromise the rights of the drivers. We want to be able to be the voice of the drivers. So, Will, you know, I know that I think you you were a Lyft advocate at some point?
Who are you talking to?
You know, we got to make connections. Will Connor was a Lyft advocate.
Okay.
He was a Lyft.
Oh, you mean Will?
I guess Lyft had a whole bunch of drivers that were helping people back in the day. Okay. And I think Will was one of those guys. I think, or he knows one of them.
Well, one of the things that we are also doing is we are actually writing letters, and some of the drivers we have been able to get reactivated, but it was more a technical issue than a violation of community, what did they say? Community standards, community guidelines. Like it was a clerical error, it was taking too long with their background check, something like that. They had something on their license. And I'm like, did you contact the DPU? Some drivers don't know that you go through 2 background checks, the one with Uber and Lyft and the one with DPU, the Department of Public Utilities. And we write letters. And that's why we say get a dash cam. We also are, we will apply pressure on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook, especially on Twitter. Uber does not like to get called out. We have a driver that actually has footage, and he said, I have the footage. He's the only driver that filed a deactivation complaint that actually has footage of the incident that happened. Now, how likely do you think and how fast do you think that we're going to be able to get that driver reactivated versus someone that does not have a dash cam? That's why we say you need to get a dash cam. Those are some of the things that we can do. And if worse comes to worse, you can actually take them to small claims court. And we refer drivers. I just referred a driver the other day to Sledgehammer Shannon Liz Reardon, to her law firm. She's gotten a lot of money for the drivers, because what people don't really talk about is that in Massachusetts, under Massachusetts labor law, we're considered actually employees, even though Uber and Lyft, their business model is not legal, and we're treated as independent contractors. So you have more rights under Massachusetts labor law, as in, because we're considered employees under the law. And so a lot of the drivers don't know this. And so, that's why they say knowledge is power, and executing from that knowledge is power. And so, I mean, they try to pull that garbage with me. They told me the facial recognition software, it wasn't me. They couldn't get me on customer complaints. And then when I made an appointment, they had someone from their headquarters actually call me from Uber's headquarters in California, instead of actually going to the hub. And I said, I know my rights. This is illegal. I said, I have witnesses that can say this is a picture of me. This is a picture of me. And I said, the studies have shown that facial recognition software misidentifies Black and brown people the majority of the time. And 70% of our rideshare drivers are Black and brown. So I said, your software doesn't work. I said, I also have the proof for that. And I was like, you're retaliating against me because I'm organizing the drivers and I'm fighting on behalf of the drivers. And I said, we could do this the easy way, or we could do this the hard way. I said, but you're violating my rights one way or the other. And now my account, it doesn't need attention anymore, but I knew my rights and I did not back down. And so a lot of the drivers don't know their rights. So Marquis said, I've been silent for rideshare services since the pandemic. Is it worth coming out of retirement, and why?
No, it's definitely not. So, I can tell you this. I've heard so many complaints about how slow it is for rides. I have literally transitioned to delivery only right now. So I'll tell you that much. Go with delivery, stay with it until things pick up. Because right now, it is dead. There is nothing.
I would say that it's sporadic. Depends on where you actually
Yeah.
when and where you drive. Okay, because like I will drive on a Sunday and I will go to Boston or something like that, and it will be literally nonstop from like 7 o'clock at night till almost. Well, actually, I'll go in at say noontime, 1 o'clock, and it'll be nonstop from 1 until 9, 10 at night. And you literally have to shut it off at 10 o'clock at night because a lot of buses start slowing down and it starts picking up from 10 till 6 in the morning. So night owl hours are always happening. But like
Mm-hmm.
Beth was saying, you can use Gridwise. There's a lot of shows, there's a lot of theaters that are pushing people out the door. People are not wanting to drive in there, they're using rideshare. There's rallies, there's events, the garden. It's what you make of it. I would not say it's slow. I would say that it can get very busy. And another thing is you should declare where you're driving. If you change
Yeah, Will says he's been busy. Dave is freezing up. So it's almost 8 o'clock. And so I'm trying to respect everybody's time. So what I said was get a pepper spray permit, get the gel pepper spray. Don't get the aerosol pepper spray because you're going to end up macing yourself. Make sure you carry scissors, especially if you get in an accident and you're upside down. You could cut the seatbelt, you could cut yourself out, and you could break the window if necessary, if you need to get out. Uber's talk about no guns, Lyft, no guns. But you know what they say. A lot of people would rather be judged by 12 than carried by six. Hand sanitizer. That's actually one of the best weapons of defense right now because you could throw that in someone's face. And it's just like trust your instincts, get a dash cam, have the signs that you're being recorded. Um, you know, and sometimes you just gotta do a Hail Mary, unfortunately. And
put it in
so
your profile, put it in your profile too, that you have a
yeah,
dash cam. Okay, for the safety, and just
register it.
make sure you do say that for the safety of all riders and drivers, just put the
Mm-hmm.
riders first because it looks a lot better. There's audio and video taking place and have signs on either window, and that way you're covered. You can only and carry get spare memory cards. So if you do have an incident, that you can pop the memory card out, you put another memory card in
Mm-hmm.
because a
And
lot of them
Amazon has a
rewrite
way
over
of
things.
making your own signs too. So
Yeah.
they're fairly inexpensive.
Now, you guys still doing partition? Has anybody done partitions?
Yeah, I still have mine.
Yeah, a lot of the drivers still have the partitions up when I've been in there.
Because I tried to order one and they were on back order. So
Go to compasshealthshields.com.
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
Beth, are we having another meeting at 8?
Yeah, that's why I'm wrapping up. I'm on number 4. So my tips are, protect yourself and your income. Sign up for Gridwise. Sign up for Aflac. Just to let you know, like I said, BIDG members, do choose what you pay, what you choose, dues paying members, what you feel comfortable with. We have that discount code. We have a direct link to an Aflac expert. And Aflac that's cancer. It covers you, it covers your family. Um, it's important because you can get deactivated. Someone could accuse you of anything, and these bills don't stop. And we all know that. You can take a vacation, but not from the bills. So just protect yourself, your family, your income. And then I'm gonna actually put up sign up for BIDG. I'm gonna post that link in here. If you have any questions for us, we are here for you. And from there, you can see what we're doing. You can, you can sign up for dues if you have a deactivation issue. I put that in the chat. Marquis says he appreciates all your advice. This was awesome. So I posted it on the Facebook page and I posted it on our YouTube page and everything. And so the last thing we have, it is 7:59, and we do have another meeting to get to. Like I said, we are fighting for you guys, the drivers. There's a lot of changes that DoorDash, Uber, and Lyft are trying to do. They're trying to buy a law that is basically you think we barely, we don't have any rights now. If this passes, this Prop 22 passes, and this legislation, HB 1234, you really not going to have any rights, and you might as well bend over and take it every day, any which way. And so we're fighting for you. Some of y'all drivers might not know what's going on, but we just want to keep you informed. And so we are going to vote, Steve, Dave, and I. Who do you think had the craziest story for Rise
$20 bill?
Who do you think? I put in for Richard. To me, Richard had the best, craziest story that ever happened.
Without a doubt, Richard. I definitely say without a doubt.
$20 bill one. That's the best.
And Steve has a tip for your income compass health shield.
That's the partition.
So that's a partition. And just one more thing before we get going. Any of y'all, they mess with you, Uber and Lyft mess with you. You get in these, you get in an accident, especially if it's not your fault. We also put an Uber lawsuit in here because let me tell you, that's Sledgehammer Shannon. And if she gets money for drivers. She has helped a lot of drivers. HTTPS uberlawsuit.com. She'll help you. She is one of the best labor law attorneys, not only in Massachusetts, not only in Boston, but in the whole country. Like Uber and Lyft, big tech is scared of her. They ain't gonna admit it, but they really are. They're shaking their boots when they hear her name. So thank you so much for being with us. Yeah, thank you, Steve. I did the uberlawsuit.com. So once again, Richard, you are the winner of the $25 Visa gift card. Hit me up. Richard doesn't live too far away. And so we are just going to end this broadcast. We do have another meeting to go to. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and have a great evening, okay? And thank you for staying with us, even with the technical difficulties. We appreciate your patience. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth. Did a good job.
Bye, everyone. Have a good night.